I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Break it down, bring it back, make it clap. I got 3 old thoughts, new block, where that thing, bitches on my line, and you know
Welcome to our guide on safe chemical disposal, protecting people and the environment. Chemical disposal refers to the safe and responsible handling, treatment, and elimination of hazardous chemicals, substances, or waste materials. It involves processes that prevent harm to the environment, human health, and wildlife by properly managing and disposing of these potentially dangerous substances.
Chemical waste refers to any unwanted materials resulting from chemical processes. Proper disposal is crucial to prevent environmental harm and health risks.
Some examples of chemical waste are batteries, pesticides, paints, gas cylinders, solvents, mercury, used oil, reagent-grade chemicals, brake fluid, and ethylene glycol.
Chemical handling and storage. Chemical handling and storage is chemical introduction. Identify all chemicals used in the workplace. Determine the properties and characteristics of each chemical, such as toxicity, reactivity, and stability. Compilation of chemical inventory. Make a complete inventory of all chemicals found in the workplace. Record the stock quantity, date of purchase, and expiry date, if applicable. Proper storage. Determine the appropriate storage area for each type of chemical. Separate chemicals that are not suitable to be stored together to avoid unwanted reactions. Clear labels. Make sure all chemical containers are equipped with clear and informative labels. Label each container with information about the ingredient name, identification number, and instructions for safe use. Security system. Limit access to chemical storage areas to trained personnel only. Temperature and humidity settings. Ensure that storage conditions comply with the recommended temperature and humidity requirements for each chemical. Avoid storage in places that are too hot, too cold, or too humid. Safety tools. Provide necessary safety equipment, such as safety glasses, gloves, and other protective equipment in the storage area. Routine maintenance and inspection. Perform routine maintenance and inspection of all storage equipment and safety equipment. Emergency guide. Provide a clear and easily accessible emergency action guide, including emergency numbers to contact. Training and education. Provide training to all personnel working with chemicals on safe use, emergency handling, and control procedures. Safe waste disposal. Organize the chemical waste disposal system according to the applicable regulations. Rating. Conduct regular audits and evaluations of storage and control procedures to ensure effectiveness and compliance.
Chemical separation refers to the separation of different components or chemicals in a mixture. This separation occurs due to various factors such as differences in particle size, density, solubility, or chemical properties. Examples of chemical segregation. Chromatography. An important physical separation technique for chemicals. This technique can separate a mixture of 2 or more chemicals into pure components. This method separates the components of the mixture into a stationary phase and a mobile phase at different speeds so that they can be separated. Distillation. Separation of chemicals based on differences in the speed or ease of vaporization of substances. Electrophoresis. This method uses electrical charges on molecules to separate components in a specific medium, gel, or solution.
Many chemicals are both hazardous chemicals under the WHS regulations and dangerous goods under the transport regulations, particularly those with acute physical hazards. The Australian Dangerous Goods Code provides the necessary information on transporting hazardous chemicals and dangerous goods for all states and territories in Australia, except the Northern Territory. Checklist for transporting hazardous chemicals. When transporting chemicals, avoid transporting with food, water, or other reactive chemicals. Follow the separation and segregation rules for transporting mixed classes of hazardous chemicals, those classified as dangerous goods. Secure hazardous chemicals on the vehicle so they can't move or fall. Keep a record of the chemicals you are carrying. Separate foodstuffs from chemicals. Make sure you have the required signs and equipment for the vehicle. Make sure the driver of the vehicle has the correct license and is trained in emergency procedures.
Disposal methods. Recycling. Recycling is preferable. It benefits the economy, decreases our raw material reliance nationally, conserves natural resources, prevents pollution, and cuts energy use. Underground disposal. The only way this method is compliant is when the hazardous waste is brought to mines that are either inactive or partially active, along with meeting additional geological and technical specifications. Many companies need to dispose of radioactive waste, whether from medical treatments, laboratory experiments, nuclear fuel production, or radioactive or mining, landfill, residues from waste incineration, or waste that is not suitable for material recycling or heat treatment is deposited in landfills that comply with legal requirements. If the waste does not meet the requirements for disposal, it must be treated first. Incineration. Combustible waste from households and waste wood that is not suitable for incineration recycling undergo thermal treatment in waste incineration plants. The heat released in the process is used to generate electricity and heat buildings. Waste with a high calorific value and low level of pollutant contamination can be used in industrial plants, e.g. cement plants. Waste that is contaminated with organic pollutants undergoes separate thermal treatment, e.g. in hazardous waste incineration plants. Incinerators must have a flue gas treatment system. The requirements for flue gas treatment and the incineration system are based on the nature of the waste.
Welcome to Canva. In conclusion, it is important for us as users to dispose of chemicals that have been used correctly and safely to avoid any potential or risk of threat to the life safety of other users on the road. To avoid any accidental accidents, these chemical wastes should be disposed of and managed using proper and safe techniques or precautions. For example, excess chemical waste should be removed and stored in a designated location in advance. Therefore, there will not be any leakage of chemical waste that will endanger the lives and health of people around or the environment if all the procedures planned before can be properly followed.
Thank you for your attention. We hope that you find it informative.